Lock in all sports, all plays, all 5% best bets from now until Super Bowl 57 on February 12th, 2023 from your favorite Wager Talk handicapper for only $1,199 versus a regular price of $1,999 for one total savings of $800. This limited time super discount comes out to less than $100 per month and only $3.28 per day. As an added bonus, your all access starts immediately, so the sooner you buy before Super Bowl 56, the more additional days you will get for free. Just go to WagerTalk.com, choose your favorite handicapper to lock in, and don't forget there is no limit to the amount of handicappers you can redeem our Super Bowl to Super Bowl offer on.
Hey guys, what's going on? And a very happy Wednesday to you here, February the 2nd, and we've got some college hoops on our minds here tonight, and a great card here with a couple of big time conference matchups. We'll break down a few of these games for you, see if we can't point you in the right direction, and we're going to do it, of course, with three of the finest handicappers at not only WagerTalk.com, but also mid-major Matt in the house, Matt Joseph, SportsMemo.com joining us, and along with Adam Trigger, and of course the man is so hot he almost melted the entire set here tonight. Drew Martin joining us here, fresh off yet let me guess, another victory last night, huh? And it had to involve Auburn. I'm not gonna even know. I'm just gonna guess somewhere or another you had a bet on that Auburn Alabama game, which probably cashed. Congratulations, Drew, continuing to rock and roll. 17-4 now, I believe, which is just crazy. And you got a 5% best bet tonight as well?
I do, Joe. Yeah, locked and loaded tonight. Got a matchup I really like. Jumped off the board at me. The numbers are lining up as well. So firing away here. Yeah, it's been a heck of a run. And you talk about the Hardwood Iron Bowl last night. What an atmosphere on the Plains. That was a great matchup, putting up 100 points for Auburn. So, yeah, I'm not looking to step in front of War Eagle at all. It's either bet on Auburn or pass for me, Joe. And look to bet them over the total as well, which is the way I bet it last night. So, yeah, thanks for the props, man. Hopefully can keep it going. Got a big play up tonight, which, hey, if you're watching out there, feel free to grab it. I'm not going to stop you. But also, Joe, we got that special Super Bowl to Super Bowl this week for free. So, hey, it's a good time to jump on board, guys, with $1,000 worth of savings. So, yeah, check it out, guys.
Yeah, guys, head on over there, red hot. Get every 5% play for a year until next February. Can't go wrong with that. It's a great opportunity. And Trig, straight off the gridiron where you have just crushed it this college football and NFL season. And we were just talking about your boys from Siena getting the job done again last night. But what do you got locked and loaded here tonight on the hardwood for us?
Yeah, Joe, I need some of that good form from football to carry over to college hoop, but I'm overdue. So I hope February is the time for that. Pushed with Georgetown last night. Hopefully some people got the hook and cashed right there. I have a best bet in college basketball I'm going to talk about on the show that actually tips in an hour. They moved this game up because of some inclement weather in the Columbia, Missouri area. So spoiler alert, it's in the Florida-Missouri game. We'll talk that in best bets. And I'm going to add stuff for later. So, right as soon as we get off the show, I'll have a play up for tonight. And hopefully we can get hot here in February.
Awesome. All right, good stuff. And mid-major Matt Joseph's here with us, sportsmemo.com. This is always a fun time of year and a very profitable time of year for you, Matt, as the Super Bowl props unleashed upon us. Nobody knows them better than you do, my man. What do you got going at Sports Memo?
Yeah, just put the prop up and put my first one up. You know that the sports book is going to have them tomorrow night, and we're just going to start putting a bunch up. But I figure put the package up now. You can get the props the moment I release them. 1-1 in college basketball last night. The train that is Toledo, man. Every game in the MAC, they just score over 80, and I'm going to keep riding their team total overs until the train falls off. But shout out to Toledo, who's been killing everybody and killing the books with me for their team total overs. That's a underrated team come March.
Yeah, that's it's crazy, man. That's a quality team for sure here, guys. And there's 3 very quality matchups here tonight. We're going to start with I can't wait for this one here. Villanova and Marquette happens to be the 10 o'clock Eastern time tip here, so it'll be the late game with Nova opening up as a 4-point favorite here with the opening total of 134, and Marquette had a nice 7-game winning streak. Well, that came to an end their last game against Providence, who handled their business. Nova looking for a little revenge here. Drew, what do you think? Does Nova get it here tonight?
You know, Joe, I think they do. I like this Villanova team a lot. You know, their profile, a slow tempo team, good guard play. They don't turn the ball over. They're well coached, top 10 offensive efficiency team with that slow pace. That tends to be the type of profile I'd look to bet on. Also for teams to make a run in the tournament. And on the Marquette side, like you talked about, Joe, off of that loss, however, they are 8-0 against the spread on a huge money-making trend here. So I usually don't like to step in front of teams like that. Big clash of styles here, meaning Marquette's going to look to run up tempo. Villanova looking to slow it down. So who controls the tempo going to be a big part of this handicap. Marquette is the home team. However, I'd give Nova the edge in terms of the more talented team. So that's something to watch. But -4 in the hook here. That's what the spread is right now, looking at the WagerTalk odds screen. I'd go with Villanova. And also, Joe, because they're the #1 free throw shooting team in the country. Over 82% from the line. So in a foul fest area like this one is priced in, you can kind of trust Villanova to knock down those free throws late in the game in a competitive game. So if you need a bet in the late night hour on FS1, I would go with Villanova here, Joe.
Yeah, I mean, listen, they've won 9 of their last 10 here, Trig, and the only damn loss that they had was against, and you guessed it, this team here. So talk to me here, Trig. Where you think you're going to go here on this one?
Joe, this is a tough game here. I have opinions. I don't know if any of these opinions are going to get me to the window for a bet. First thing I want to know is what's with the 10 o'clock games at Fiserv Forum, because the Bucks played one the other day with the Knicks, and I thought that was weird. But I agree with Drew. Revenge spot for Villanova. After what happened in the first game. Problem I have here backing Villanova is Marquette has been so scrappy as an underdog all year, and they just don't give up in games, and they're the type of team that I want to back as an underdog. The reason I'm not going to back them here is I think the value has been kind of sucked out with this Marquette team. The number seems short at 4. If I was getting 7 points with Marquette here, I'd probably be more interested. But at 4, I just, like Drew said, that's something that Villanova could be in sort of a dogfight and get over the finish line late, hitting a couple foul shots. The thought I have on the total here is that this is probably another under. The first meeting, only 111 points, 57-54 was the final. I don't know that there's been enough of an adjustment. I think the total's up in the low 130s, maybe 132, 133. And this does feel like it's going to be another sort of scrap fest to me. Very similar to the first game. Now, Villanova couldn't hit anything in that first game. So that's a little bit of a concern and why I won't be betting the under here. Because if Villanova starts to hit some shots, they're going to score more than they did in the first meeting. So, yeah, it's a tough handicap. I don't want to go against Marquette at home. I don't want to go against Marquette as a dog. But I think the numbers tell me to play Villanova at -4 if I had to get involved.
Yeah, listen, Marquette has been pretty hard to crack there at home, Matt, and yet here they are. They're now a home dog. They've got the experience. They've got the confidence of already beating this Nova squad. And I believe their defense, to Trig's point here, finally cracked the top 25 in Ken Palm for defensive efficiency. So maybe the total or team total is the way to look. How are you going to approach it?
Well, I mean, the first thing that stands out from that first game is there was only 7 free throws attempted. And so that's one of the things. And you look at both these teams now, Marquette, not as much at the free throw attempted per field goals attempted. Villanova is a little bit better in that situation. So you'd expect them to get to the line a little bit more. And the other thing is, Villanova is not a great rebounding team, but they crushed Marquette on the boards. And so as Drew said, the two things at least I look at when you want to find a road team to win a situation like this is somebody who's going to hit their free throws and somebody who's going to hit the boards. And so those are 2 check marks in Villanova's thing. And you look back at years where Villanova loses to a team, the second time around, it very rarely goes well for that team. A lot of those have been covers by Villanova. You can go back to, now granted this was at home, but you can go back to Villanova lost to Creighton. That Creighton looked terrible in that game and then beat them by 34. So to me, the edge goes to Villanova here in a lot of different places. Now the 4.5 is a tough one. I would almost look at maybe, as you said, a team total under for Marquette here. I just think Villanova's defense is going to get ratcheted up a little bit. Now they've had some good efforts on the road. I think Villanova wins this game, but you can get creative and try and find some ways to play Villanova without that 4.5.
All right, good stuff here, guys. Late game there. Nova taking on Marquette, 10 o'clock. We'll work our way backwards, and we'll head over to the Big Ten here to take a look at Wisconsin on the road, taking on to Illinois. 6.5 was the opening number for Illinois. That has since been pushed up to 7s. The total at 140 at an opening here. And I don't know, what do you think here, Trig, with this Illinois team? I mean, obviously with Coburn in the lineup, they're a different team, but Cabello has been hit or miss when he's available. Outside of Coburn, what advantage do they really have over Wisconsin?
Oh, Joe, this is a huge mismatch, in my opinion. I love Illinois to win this game. I don't know how I feel about laying 7. I think the odds makers nailed it, making this number where it is, because I was really hoping to see something like 4.5 or 5. Of course, it's 7. Of course, the odds makers know that Illinois is a vastly superior team to Wisconsin when Illinois is healthy, of course, and Coburn looks to be healthy now. So if I'm getting a healthy Illinois against a Wisconsin team that's going to probably have to double him, you should see plenty of open shots for Illinois, and they've been knocking shots down with regularity of late. Curbelo might be back tonight. Don't know that matters a ton. But this is going to be Johnny Davis one-on-one with Trent Frazier here. And I've talked about Wisconsin being a fade for a while now. And I think Davis has single-handedly bailed them out in a number of games. I don't think he's going to be able to do that here. So for me, I absolutely love Illinois to win this game. If you can incorporate an Illinois money line somewhere, if you have another strong, maybe even a Villanova, maybe use Villanova, which we just talked about, because I really do think Illinois wins this game. I don't know if I can stomach the 7 from a best bet standpoint, but there's only one way I would go with it. I expect Illinois to be the superior team here today.
All right, good stuff there. I mean, what do you think here, Matt? How do you approach this game here tonight with Wisconsin and Illinois?
I don't know if I share necessarily the same confidence in Illinois. Now, look, you look at their last 5 games, and I know some of that was without Kofi, and then the game coming back, at Northwestern, he's kind of getting reincorporated back in the lineup. But, you look at these 2 games, they do beat Michigan State, they do beat Northwestern, and then they lose those 2 games to Maryland and Purdue. And then the game before that was Michigan, and Michigan didn't even have Hunter Dickinson in that game. So, of course, they were going to win that game rather easily. I kind of lean to Wisconsin to the big number. This is a team that's shown they can win on the road. They won at Purdue. They won at Maryland. I think the big key is, as Adam said, is Davis. And if he's hot early, I think Wisconsin could definitely win this game. And look, the guys being shuffled in and out of the lineup can't be good for continuity for Illinois. I just feel like, these guys have played a lot together, but they actually haven't played as much together on the court as they probably would have liked. So I lean to Wisconsin. It's nothing big. It's not a game that I would particularly wager on off my opinions, but I kind of lean to Wisconsin plus the points. Illinois probably wins, but I think Illinois can cover this number.
Man, it feels like, Drew, the Bookmakers are just begging you to take Wisconsin here, aren't they? They're just begging you to take the 7 points. Are you falling for it, Drew?
You know, Joe, it does seem like that a little bit. And I actually might bite on it. You know, sometimes when they lead you one way, it does cash. Actually, a lot of times it doesn't. But breaking down this game, you know, a full touchdown here, the Illini in Champaign. And look, they're 15-5 straight up. They're also an over trender. But the thing I look at here is they're 0-4 against the spread the last 4 games. So are they being a little bit overpriced? You know, laying 7 here, I think Trig kind of spoke to that. Now, Kobe Cockburn is back, Tony Finn's favorite player in Cockburn there, but his first game back against Northwestern, he actually put up 22 points in 30 minutes. So it's not like he's coming back and he's only, you know, half in, half out. He's playing full minutes here, and he's a game changer, guys. And Trig and Major Matt also talked to Johnny Davis on the other side of things with the Badgers. He's a next level guy. This guy's awesome. I mean, if you haven't seen Wisconsin play, he kind of, you know, the Badgers are going to go how Johnny Davis goes. So if he's knocking down his shots, I would look to actually bet Wisconsin over and look to bet on Wisconsin here plus the points. We normally don't look at the Badgers and say bet them over. However, this season, Joe, they're 13-7 to the over. They're also 5-1 on the road. So getting the full touchdown here with the Badgers, I think I'm going to bite. I think the dog is barking here, and they stay within the touchdown. Give me the Badgers, Joe.
All right, so I'll throw one more stat out to you guys just to confuse the living shit out of everybody. But Wisconsin, 10-1 in games this year decided by 6 or fewer points. The line is 7, guys. Do with that as you may. All right, let's go on. We'll move on to our last game here. I knew Matt was waiting for this one here, man. Let's go to the A-10. Let's talk a little Dayton taking on VCU. VCU opens up as a 4.5-point favorite. That total is way too high at $118.5 is an opening total. First 1 to 50 wins. Matt Josephs, mid-major Matt, right up your alley. How good is this VCU team?
So here's the thing. So first of all, I'm probably gonna be at the game tonight. I'll be excited to go out to the Siegel Center. Always a fun environment. They really do not like Dayton. A couple of things to consider here. First off, coming off the emotional road victory against Richmond, VCU's actually lost the last 3 games post Richmond straight up. They only played once last year, and then 2 years ago they played twice and lost the game afterwards. So that's something certainly to consider here. The one thing when you watch VCU games, their Havoc-style defense is very physical. And so there are certain officiating crews that call them tighter than others. And that's my one worry, Joe, about this thing, because if they're calling VCU tight, then you're going to see a lot of free throws here. And you know, Dayton's a middle-of-the-pack type free throw team. That first meeting in UD Arena, it's crazy when you think about VCU took 2 free throws and won the game 53-52. Dayton took 27, was 19-27. VCU was 2 of 2, and VCU still won the game. They out-rebounded Dayton. They don't do that very often. Not to mention they also didn't have Jaden Nunn or Levi Stockard for that game. This seems like a big number here. This feels like a game that's going to be played within 1 or 2 possessions. I do kind of lean towards Dayton in this situation. I'll say this. If you want to place a live bet, get a feel for the first 8 minutes or so, because if the officials are calling it tightly, then VCU might be in a little bit of trouble. There might be some foul problems. Also, Dayton is like all freshmen. If they start wilting under the Siegel Center and all the turnovers, because they are a high turnover team, then this game could get pretty ugly. So maybe a live bet is actually better to kind of get a sense of the officiating and get a sense as to how the freshmen are handling this really tough environment here in Richmond.
Yeah, it's they're going to bring the defense here tonight, Drew. This VCU squad, they are just, they are relentless. But when they did meet, to Matt's point, back on January 5th, they were a 4.5-point underdog in Dayton. Now they're a 4.5-point favorite. That's a big swing here, my man. What do you think we're going to see tonight?
Sure, it is, Joe. I mean, the home court advantage does shift towards VCU, and I thought Matt brought up some good points. He knows VCU pretty well, and interesting take there. I didn't think of it. You know, the game after they play Richmond, of course, you know, being inner city teams, there might be more to that. Coming into this, I was looking at VCU actually, Joe, and I know it's a huge switch in the point spread from the last time they faced, but I actually think the matchup here really favors VCU defensively. In the last game they played, what I think it was January 5th, there was 60 possessions and VCU turned Dayton over 15 times. So 25% of the Dayton possessions, they turn the ball over. And it speaks to, what mid-major Matt was saying there with a heavy freshman lineup there. So now going on the road and facing this same VCU defense, I don't think that bodes well. I think that points me towards VCU here. But the game after Richmond, that's kind of throwing me off what Matt said. So I haven't fired on it yet, but still, I like VCU in this spot, Joe.
Yeah, the other problem too with VCU in these close games is they're not great at the free throw line, which is another problem here too. But they are home here, Trig, and the Flyers already got a chance to see them. I think it's safe to say the Flyers, Dayton is the better offensive team in this game, but will they be able to withstand the pressure on the road?
I don't think so, Joe. I don't really like this Dayton team. I had to sort of talk myself off of VCU, and there's a couple of reasons I have for that. Matt just sort of put the nail in the coffin. Coming off the Richmond game, I had VCU in that game as a best bet, so I cashed with VCU over the weekend. And they're a team I'm kind of looking to get involved with, but at the number 4.5, I think it's a little too high. So situationally, yes, coming off of Richmond could be a flat spot. I think there's definitely some merit to that. And then, the total is like 121. So a very low total. Typically not, I typically don't like laying, needing to win a game by 5 in a game where there's only a total of 120. Points are a little bit more at a premium. And then what this comes down to, VCU's offense can just go to sleep sometimes. I mean, they can be non-existent on offense, which would be the concern with laying points with a team like that. Don't mind backing them as an underdog, but when I have to also win by margin, I need a little bit better offensively. So like Drew, I lean toward the VCU side here, but kind of like our Illinois-Wisconsin game, I think the number is just gonna keep me on the sidelines for this one.
All right, I'm going to buy into it on that one. Should be a fun one, though. VCU taking on Dayton here tonight, guys. Also at 9 o'clock Eastern time, and there's a number of other really intriguing conference matchups here tonight. So, Drew, kick us off here, man. Is there a game here you circled you like a little bit more than the rest tonight?
Absolutely, Joe. I got a little woo pig suey Arkansas versus Georgia game tonight, guys. And we got a total of as high as 152 here. 151.5 is widely available right now, looking at the Wager Talk odds screen. But going after Eric Musselman's team here, the Razorbacks, under the total. They've been trending under ever since he got injured. Long-time assistant Keith Smart took over. They played a slower pace, and I think Musselman, since coming back, Joe, he's kind of realized they're playing really good basketball right now. So instead of going that frantic pace like we're used to with the Razorbacks, they've actually been playing more defensive-minded basketball, trending towards the under, and they're up against Georgia. Look, the Bulldogs, little national championship football hangover, in my opinion, there in Athens. The worst team in the SEC. I don't think they're going to control the tempo, even though they are at home. So I think Arkansas with the slower tempo, 151.5. That is a high total, guys, in college basketball. I don't think we get there. I don't think Georgia's talented enough offensively to do their part. So I bet the under in the Arkansas-Georgia game, Joe.
All right, going under in that one there. How about it, Trig? Now, your game starts in about 40 minutes if you're watching this live here, guys. 3 o'clock Eastern time. We got the tip, Florida and Mizzou. So talk to us here. Break this game down for us.
Yeah, so this one got moved up for the snow, which I think is a good place to start because it's going to be a 2 o'clock local tip time in Columbia, Missouri. Potentially a little bit of a sleepy environment, which kind of favors a slower pace, which Missouri definitely wants to play at, and potentially favors a lower scoring game, which makes the points that much more valuable. Could be a flat spot for Florida. I had Oklahoma State over the weekend, and I opposed Florida in that game. Florida looked horrendous in the first half, and Oklahoma State really just couldn't make a shot in the second half. But Florida's not going to have that shot in the arm like they did at the O'Connell Center here on the road in Missouri. And I'll also just point out with Missouri in general, they've been playing much better since they've slowed it down. There's some solid results Missouri's had recently. a win over Alabama. They blew out Ole Miss, and they took number 1 Auburn really to the final seconds of that game, eventually losing by 1. I think Missouri is probably a little bit better than the Missouri team that we saw losing to mid-majors and getting blown out by some terrible teams back in November and December. I think it's still a huge deal that Colin Castleton is out. I still don't think the books have really fully adjusted to this. So I'm getting a full 6 points here. I think Missouri is going to hang around, make this a very interesting, very competitive, sort of slower, low-scoring game. And I think the 6 points are going to hold up. So win or lose, I think Missouri gets the money at home this afternoon.
All right, good stuff, man. Let's get it done. Florida and Mizzou here. And how about it? Mid-major Matt Josephs. Which one of these games you looking at here tonight?
So I know a lot of people are probably saying, Matt, you're taking the Vermont team total over, right? Because we've hit it so much in a row. I think it's actually going to go under tonight. I think that they're actually going to struggle a little bit as much as they have in that conference. So I'm not making the Vermont game my team total over for the day. I'm actually going out to a team I loved last year. This was one of the squads that I talked about a lot. I think you made some jokes, Joe, about them last year, or even earlier this year when I played them. I'm going with the Abilene Christian Wildcats, their team total over tonight. And there's a couple reasons why. First off, when I look at these mid-major conferences and things, I want teams that are in really good form. Well, Abilene Christian, their last 3 games, 85, 87, and 77 points. So the offense, despite some poor numbers overall in conference, is good enough. Plus, their defense is really leaky. And so, like, when you beat their press, they have some of the weirdest numbers. They're number 1 in the country when it comes to turnover percent. 27.8% of the possessions, they force turnovers against their opponent. But when you actually do get past all that stuff, your chances are you probably score. Tonight they play Chicago State. It's a home game. Chicago State is 345th in offensive turnover percentage. If they get over half court, I'll be very surprised half the time. And you just look at some of their road performances. They gave up 85 at UTRGV. They gave up 80 at Grand Canyon, 87 at Drake. Anytime they play a team that has any sort of offensive pulse on the road, that team scores a lot. So I'm going to go and play the Abilene Christian team total over here. I think they do whatever they want against Chicago State. And every time Chicago State gets it past midcourt, it'll be a little celebration there.
You could have just said they're playing Chicago State. We would have known exactly what you were talking about there. All right, guys, let's check it out. Abilene Christian, 77.5 over for Matt. Not liking the Vermont team total, which could have been under tonight. But our friends from the Gold Sheet, they have a play in mind here tonight that they like. And it happens to be the U. Miami tonight at home hosting Notre Dame. Big ACC matchup. Notre Dame coming off of that tremendous offensive showing there at home against Duke, in which they scored 12 points. It was really exciting. I think 17 points in the first half on their way to watching Duke trounce them. Now they got to come to Miami, in which they have been extremely profitable to back at home. Will they get it done? Well, the Gold Sheet says yes. Back Miami to get it done here tonight against Notre Dame. And this write-up, guys, over at our Twitter page, at WagerTalk. We post these each and every day after the show. Do yourself a favor, though. Head over to thegoldsheet.com. Check out the write-ups for all the games, plus the great handicapping tools available to you guys over at thegoldsheet.com. All right, I'm going to go to a team that I have been fading recently. I'm going to keep fading them tonight with East Carolina as they welcome Temple in. And Temple, guys, winners 5 of their last 7 and clamping down. Defense has been unbelievable. It's just about a pick 'em right now. So I'm going to lay it on the money line. I'm going to back the Temple Owls as East Carolina barely shooting 33% here in their last 5 games. This is not a defense that your offense is going to get right with. So give me the Temple Owls to get it done against East Carolina tonight. And in review, let's check it out here as Drew Martin. He's looking Arkansas at Georgia under 151. Who is Georgia to be laying that kind of number? Ridiculous. Not enough points going to be scored in that one. And Trig, get ready, guys. Still about 35 minutes away here. Back Mizzou. Take the 6 against Florida here today. And Matt says, give me some points, man, with Abilene Christian. Team total over 77.5 against Chicago State. I'm going to take Temple on the money line against East Carolina. And our friends from the Gold Sheet, back in the U. Lay the 4.5 at home against Notre Dame. And a quick reminder here, guys, Drew Martin, 5% best bet up and available right now. He's only on a 17-4 run. Really, no reason for you to stop what you're doing and run over there right now. Just click on the damn page and go get the 5% best bet tonight here. The man is on fire, as is Trig. He's ready to go. Just gave you Mizzou, but he's got some others up his sleeve here tonight, and so does, of course, Mid-Major Matt over at sportsmemo.com, including the ability to hop on board right now for the Super Bowl prop package, guys. Nobody, and I mean nobody, does Super Bowl props better than Mid-Major Matt. Check him out over at sportsmemo.com. So there you got it, guys. Should be a fun and extremely profitable evening in college hoops. Hope you'll come back and join us again tomorrow, same time, as we break down yet another card in this season. But until then, on behalf of Drew, Trig, and Mid-Major Matt Josephs at sportsmemo.com, guys. Best of luck with your plays tonight. We'll talk to you again tomorrow. Good luck.
Each and every Wednesday at sportsmemo.com, you will get a 33% discount on everything you fit into your cart using coupon code CART33 when checking out. Whether it's a daily package, a one-day all-access, a 3, 7, or 30-day package, a full season of sports of your choice, or a full 12-month from your favorite handicapper, you will save 33% using coupon code CART33 on Fill Your Cart Wednesday. You can fill your cart as many times as you want each and every Wednesday, and even better, coupon code CART33 never changes and will become active each week at 12:01 and last until the clock strikes midnight.